I've seen so many people rave about the benefits of castor oil, saying it makes their eyelashes grow, so I just had to give it a try to see if it actually worked. Okay, I've got my special castor oil. Let's see if this makes a difference to my eyelashes over the next 100 days. It's the first night of applying the castor oil. I'm not really looking forward to it because I've tried castor oil as a moisturiser before and it's so thick and gloopy, so I'm not going to enjoy having that feeling on my eyes. Here's what my eyelashes looked like at the start. As you can see, I have very fair eyelashes, so it's difficult to see how long they actually are. So I put a small amount of mascara on, just enough to coat the lashes so you can see the length of them. I had considered tinting my eyelashes for the before and the after, but I'm a bit allergic to eyelash tint and I guessed it wasn't a good look for me to come on this video with red swollen eyes. I can't really work out if that's enough, but... So there are some rules, let's call them, when doing the castor oil eyelashes challenge. It's best to use a special kind of castor oil, one that comes in a brown glass bottle, and that it's organic, cold pressed and hexane free. The brown glass bottle stops the oil from degrading in the light and not becoming contaminated with plastic. And the other bits means that the oil hasn't got any pesticides or nasties in and that the nutrients are still intact. And I've linked the one that I used in this experiment in the description. It feels pretty horrible. I don't like the feeling of it. Thick and gloopy. I wasn't sure how I felt about this experiment at the start because I wasn't convinced it would work. I feel sceptical. I can't work out the science of how it works. I've looked and I just can't find anything. But at the same time, I've seen so many videos saying and showing that it works. So let's see. It was during this challenge I wondered to myself, what's so special about castor oil and why does it make hair grow? Because it's not only meant to be good for eyelashes, but also good for hair growth on the head, eyebrows, and also for beard growth. Castor oil comes from the castor bean plant. Fun fact, Cleopatra is said to have used castor oil to whiten the whites of her eyes. Okay, that may sound good, but there are plenty of things that people did back then for their health and beauty that probably wasn't the best idea. And a note to say, when castor oil is taken orally, it can induce labour, so it definitely has some potency, but that still doesn't answer the hair growing question. It's taken me quite a long time to get used to putting this on. It feels so thick and gloopy, and I didn't like it at first, but I'm finally starting to get used to it. But I do put it on right before I go to bed, and then that way I go to sleep and then I just forget about it. And I'm not actually sure if it's making a difference or not yet, but I'm thinking it's still not long enough to tell. Castor oil contains vitamin E, omega-6 and 9, and a number of phytochemicals which I won't even bother trying to pronounce. But the active ingredient that makes up 90% of castor oil is ricinoleic. I knew I'd get that wrong. But the active ingredient that makes up almost 90% of castor oil is ricinoleic acid. And I'm wondering if it's the ricinoleic acid that gives this oil its magical hair growing properties. Now here's the interesting thing about castor oil. I can't actually find the reasons why it works. There's no studies, no scientific evidence, just hundreds, if not thousands of stories of what people are saying about it online. So let's try and work this out. And by the way, if you do know the science of how castor oil works, please let me know in the comments, because there seems to be this weird hidden secret surrounding why this stuff works. Ricinoleic acid is a fatty acid that is said to have anti-inflammatory, antifungal, antimicrobial and pain relieving properties. So that probably explains why castor oil may work when used as a compress, but it doesn't really explain why it would work for helping the hair grow. So is it just an old wives' tale? Let the experiment continue. I'm putting on my mascara this morning and my lashes seem really long. I haven't noticed that they're this long in a while, And I'm wondering if it's because they're at the end of their cycle and I'm having a long lash phase. I think it's called the telogen phase. Or is it because of the castor oil? I haven't even got that much mascara on. Oh wow, that really zooms in. There is a theory about castor oil helping with hair growth. The oil nourishes the hair follicles, which then stimulates hair growth, while the oil also keeps the hair moisturised and stops them from becoming dry, brittle and breaking off. So here's the thing I wonder, does castor oil help with hair growth because it's just an oil nourishing the hair follicles and the hair? Would the same thing happen with another oil, or is it the ricinoleic acid? During the experiment, I also applied the castor oil to my eyebrows, but it will be difficult to see if it makes any difference because I have my eyebrows microbladed. Continuous. Oh, not very thick. Oh, let me have a look at Charlie's eyelashes.
I can't see them because they're too black.
For the last few months, I also put castor oil on a ganglion cyst that I had on my wrist. I had this for about 5 years and I'd seen people say applying castor oil on a compress gets rid of these. Spoiler, I did it for several months and it didn't work. So I ended up bashing the ganglion with a book and it worked a treat. So the castor oil didn't work for the ganglion, but would it work for my eyelashes? I've got used to putting this stuff on each night now. And my routine is, I do it before I go to bed, otherwise it makes my eyes feel a bit weird. I take off my makeup, apply my face creams. I've been using tretinoin for almost a year now and this stuff is amazing. I'll make a video about that soon. I apply the castor oil to my lash line and eyelashes using a cotton bud. Then I use the other end of the cotton bud to put some on my eyebrows and on this weird little crusty patch I've got on the side of my nose. Then I gently massage it in. Then I do the rest of my nighttime stuff. Put on a hair bonnet, mouth tape and an eye mask. What on earth do I look like? The eye mask probably absorbs some of the castor oil, but I'm not that fussed about that. Then in the morning, I wash my face with water and wipe off any excess product with a damp flannel. At this stage in the experiment, things seem to be going well, but I did encounter a problem. I have oily skin and the oil coming from around my eyes onto this area is causing some of the pores to get blocked. I think these look like milia. It's when the dead skin cells don't shed and then skin grows over the top. My guess is that it's the castor oil, and then also because I'm wearing my eye mask at night, it's causing this area to get a little bit congested. So I think what I need to do is perhaps use a little bit less oil to make sure it doesn't go on this part, and then cleanse this part a bit better each morning. Okay, I don't know if this is gross or not, but I just got rid of the milia. Yeah, that is pretty gross actually, isn't it? I applied castor oil to my eyelashes for 100 days. What were the results? Here's the before and after with no makeup. And I know it's really difficult to see if there's any change, so don't get angry with me in the comments that my eyelashes are so fair and I'm allergic to eyelash tint. So here's a before and after with one coat of mascara on. I applied the same amount in both the before and the after, and you know what? I reckon I can see an improvement. I'm surprised this worked because I really didn't think it was going to. It's actually been about 140 days now since starting the experiment, and this is how I know that it is definitely making a difference. I never would have been able to achieve this look with mascara alone before doing this. I mean, look how long my eyelashes are. They almost look fake. I'd love to know, do you use castor oil? Maybe you're tempted to give it a go. I am left with just one question though. If castor oil seems to work for so many people, then why is there no scientific evidence to show that it works? I think I'll leave that one for the comments section.